This video is a small section or a few sections combined together of a 3-hour conversation we had, me and King Recon, with Vincent Chansard, a One Piece animator, one of the best in the business, and also has done various projects on JJK, Boruto, and things of that sort. So if you want to see the entire thing, go in the description box down below to the Cole Requiem YouTube channel for the full live stream conversation. We are here with a very prominent individual, absolutely, in the animation, of so many different scenes. I know people have been dying to get Vincent on for a call. I'm with my boy King Recon. It's good to have Vincent here, absolutely.
Well, hello everyone, I'm Vincent Chansard. I'm an animator, for example, but not limited to One Piece. And hello, good evening, I hope everyone is doing great.
Awesome, yeah. And of course, everyone, shout out King Recon. You guys know him, the man, the myth, the legend, the peak fiction, no doubt.
Shout out, much love to Cole, much love to the chat, much love to Vincent. Excited for a good chat here.
If you guys don't know who Vincent Chansard is, Vincent Chansard is the mind behind some of the greatest animated scenes for particularly One Piece, obviously. We're talking, a little bit of glaze, just a small amount of glaze.
We got a glaze. We got a glaze.
We're talking about.
I will tolerate a bit of glaze.
Yeah, a bit. So everyone remembers the amazing moment between King of Lightning versus Zoro in episode 1062. That's Vincent Chansard for the most part's work. Everyone remembers the stuff with the Rob Lucci versus Luffy, where Rob Lucci had that amazing transformation scene. That was also the work of Vincent Chansard for the most part. You have obviously, as of late, a lot of the great scenes with the Five Elders. We have the when they first introduced all of them in their totality. That was an amazing scene. Also, Vincent Chansard. And obviously, who can forget the Gear 5 transformation for the first time animated on episodes weekly. That was also the work of Vincent Chansard. So Vincent has done some incredible things, and people, they love you. They love you for that. One Piece fans love you tremendously. So we were talking earlier before off stream about like various things about, you know, where we are right now with the animation and then where we are now, let's say One Piece. Cause Recon and I, we've been around the bend for a while, and there was a point in time where like seeing where One Piece has come from, where One Piece was like really not that great in terms of the quality animation, in terms of the focus, and then seeing where we are now, and they want to give it its take on that. So Vincent, if you could like just roll through that real quick, because it was actually a pretty interesting conversation we had before about like where One Piece was back in the day, like let's say late or early 2010s to where we are like now.
For sure. I mean, it's an anecdote I do say quite often, but like when I was like 14, 15, like One Piece was my favorite. I was very much, let's say, not happy about it when I was a kid, because again, Naruto and Bleach were right next to it, and like I was getting grilled in school by my friends. Like I had like a group of we were three in that group. One was a Bleach guy, one was a Naruto guy, and I was a One Piece guy. And I just was getting grilled.
I feel that.
Because of the anime.
Yeah.
I remember for a good, like, let's just say 3 or 4 years, we kept rewatching the same Law versus Virgo clip here on YouTube, because that was like the main clip of like, oh yeah, this is our clip.
Because I feel like there was a point in time where it was like you had a lot of the most prominent scenes were scenes that like Natoshi did, where like you had like the Marco and Kizaru scene. You had like the Gear 4 Bowman scene. I think he did the Virgo versus Smoker stuff too. And it's like, like at that point in time, there weren't that many like key figures that were like some quintessential like fight scenes or like big moments. There were good anime scenes for sure, but they weren't on the same level that they were now. And I'm wondering too, like, do you feel like Toei has maybe like uptick a lot of the animation because of the rise of a story like of Demon Slayer?
I think there is 2 ways to answer this question. The first is from an animator, or I should say an animation team perspective, and the second one is from a producer slash television perspective. Okay. And I can tell you exactly from where it's coming from on the One Piece team. Akaori-san was someone who at the time was a Seisaku Shinko in One Piece during, you know, Dressrosa, Whole Cake, and he was, you know, watching any other anime on the side. Like I think also worked on Sword Art Online, and he was like, why is One Piece not up there? The story is so good. How come we don't have, that crispy animation?
Yeah.
And
That's
the
right.
answer was very obvious. Like the answer was time, also budget, also people. The answer was very, very obvious. And so Akaori-san set on a journey, growing higher and higher in the echelon of people in charge of One Piece. And he started, fighting and advocate for better conditions, for better opportunity to actually do good animation. And where I think your question get interesting is that I don't think Akaori-san necessarily was watching Demon Slayer or that it's necessarily what compelled him to do that. But where I think it gets interesting is that the people he talked to, the people who, are the one who pay us, I think they definitely add stuff like Demon Slayer in their minds. I think that's a very fair assumption.
Oh, that's actually very
to
interesting.
have for sure.
So that's a very bold thing. So like, do you think that like a lot of that was like he helped move a lot of that tide to even do things of that sort, like actually push things to movie theaters and be way more consistent, like take breaks in the episode scheduling so you actually have focus? Yeah, so how does it help like animators and like like yourself actually really like do a lot of the quality work in terms of scheduling? How does it help you guys out?
Absolutely. So, I don't want to throw any, studio under the bus. I don't want to say any names, even though I think what I'm referring to. But, you have a studio taking a lot of project and taking 6 months worth of budget and time from a project and giving it to another. And the people being on the project that got shafted being just like, where is the money, big man? And like One Piece does literally the opposite, where they will literally be like, okay, we cannot, like, the episode will not be airing at that time. We need 1 more week. We need 2 more weeks. And that's actually has allowed to push for far better quality, far better episode. Because at the end of the day, still, a series that has to come out nearly every week. Also, like we're also trying to not catch up to the manga that it's
that struggle.
The studio. It's catching up to the manga. So with kind of decision also, we have a thing called frame count per episode. Like more normal series would be like, oh, we cannot go over this amount of frame. And I've seen a lot of people misunderstand what it means. It's not the frame rate, because the frame rate is the same no matter what kind of anime you're watching. It's just the amount of drawing animators are allowed to draw. But like a 1 second cut, depending on the animator, can have different layers, if that makes sense. And so this will create more frames. And in One Piece, we nearly have almost no limit. Like, I think once they said like, maybe can you reduce a bit the frame? But like, we're on, a more traditional anime, they would be like, sorry, like we cannot go over that limit. Can you make the animation as simple as possible? In One Piece, it's very often, I want to do this and that and this and that, and they just go like, okay.
Really? Wait, so that's awesome. That's really awesome, but also it's kind of crazy because the idea of actively wanting simple animation is like more of an industry standard. Really? That's actually insane. Because I guess something I want to really kind of go over too is that you made some incredible scenes. But I think what's like. Yeah, I mean, I think you really have. I think the people's reaction to your scenes are proof enough. But what's like your favorite scene, and what do you think is like the best scene that you've made? So like the favorite, but also what's your best scene you think you made?
I will say the one that was the most fun to make is definitely the Luffy versus Kizaru. Like, me discussing with Matsumi-san. Like, actually, when we were in the planning stage of this episode, we went together with Tanaka-san and Nishida-san of the background team. We went to USJ together, and we were having this discussion where we would go on the Harry Potter ride and be like, oh, that moment when we should try to have something like this.
Oh, I like that.
Very fun episode to make. It, to me, and that's just my perspective, it feels a bit patchworky, but I feel like the eye of that scene are my personal biggest eye as an animator.
That sounds pretty cool, yeah. Because it sounded like you had like a lot of like almost like a really fun class project at school or something. It's like you have like your team and you're kind of working on, we should do this. No, let's not do that. Let's do it this way instead. And so it's a nice back and forth on like, you know, you and everybody else with Matsumi-san and so on. We're like working to make like the best scene you guys can, where it doesn't have everything you want, but also has things that you thought actually were better than what you thought. And it's like, oh wow. And then the final product is like, damn. Yeah, so that's really, really cool. Yeah. So that's the most fun. What about the best? You think that's like the best one too? Like the number one you've done? The number one.
Best one. So that's difficult because like
the best.
What does it mean to be the best? What are we looking at? I would say if we're just talking about purely animation prowess, animation technicity, I would say the highest I have had are definitely on Luffy versus Kizaru. Like from a technical standpoint, like this scene has some of the again, I say that as an animator, the most technically quote-unquote impressive stuff I've made for sure. If you're looking for consistency, mood, maybe it's between the Zoro King or the recent Five Elder scene.
Okay.
I'd say maybe it's between the two. I'm also fairly happy with the scene I did on Boruto when he's Baryon mode and he's using his last Rasengan.
Yeah, Baryon mode Naruto, yeah, either one too. That was that was pretty cool. That was very, very cool too, yeah.
Very short scene, but I'm happy with it for sure. I'd say it's between these scenes.
Okay, yeah, because part of me wants to say that like, when I think about like the best work that you've been a part of, like me personally, I think that, and I'm not sure if it's like even possible to like surpass this. Honestly, I think that what you guys did in 1074 was like magical.
Oh,
like
amazing.
Kaido versus Luffy, like
that was so
when
good.
When you said before in previous interviews that like tapping into Luffy is like tapping into like an imagination where like you can do anything. And then just seeing during that whole fight, like Kaido hit Luffy up into the sky. Luffy literally like upside down on top of the clouds, makes the clouds into like a rubber platform. Then he grabs lightning bolts like they're, and then he just yeets them down. That was some of the best I've ever seen, like ever. Like that was incredible. And that to me, I don't know if there's ever a scene that can surpass that. That 3-minute fight sequence was like the pinnacle of like creativity, hype, Luffy's powers, Kaido showing how even though you're able to do all this crazy Looney Tune stuff, I'm still gonna be here. I'm still gonna match you no matter what. Like that, it was so immaculate. So just like what do you think about like the possibility of like being able to create something like that again? You know, like something like on that level.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. Before that, I would say the reason why this scene specifically was not in the discussion about one of my best scenes is I personally have, some restraint as an animator because it was a Luffy versus Kaido fight. I came in with a 1 minute and so rough of being like, okay, this is what I want to animate. I want to add more graphic to the fight and stuff. And, there were some divergent opinion that made me only do something like 20 seconds, and it became a smaller scene that I personally wanted it to be. It's not about everyone else it's just me. I would have liked it to be even bigger. So I definitely do believe we can make it bigger for sure.
On that same line of thought, I'm curious. Was there like a moment where you were reading the manga? Not for something that's coming in the future, but like for something back in like Wano or Egghead, where you were like, "Oh, I would love to work on that scene," and then you got to work on that scene. Was there a moment like that?
Yeah.
Actually, it's the opposite. Often I read the manga and I'm like, wow, this scene looks like a pain in the ass to animate. I don't want to animate this scene. And then they come to me and they're like, Vin, do you mind doing this scene? And I'm like, I guess I'm doing this scene then. More often than not.
Yes. I mean, I guess we kind of segue now into what's going on in the manga. So in general, what do you think about the manga right now? Elbaf right now. Like, what do you think about the stories that's going on? Because we're in God Valley, man. We're here.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
It is. Tell me about it. I just absolutely love it. I love it 100%. Because I'm French, I always try to nitpick. Don't say this as me criticizing, but as a fan, I'm like, oh, could we have just a few more pages of these two characters fighting? And it's also me like fights, you know what I mean? So I'm like,
right.
Couldn't you make like these two characters just, like
really add more detail there, please? I'm praying,
But yeah, it's been a great read for sure. Enjoying every last bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, so when it comes to like, you think the story right now, because you can kind of say that because we're getting the God Valley flashback now, the story could be like maybe reaching its conclusion-ish. Are there any sort of theories that you have for the future of this arc and maybe for the future of the story? Yeah, come on. You have a theory. Come on, you have something. Give me something juicy. I know you have something.
Do you want the RANCID agenda?
Yes.
So
let's get it. I'm done.
I mean, here's the thing.
Absolutely.
There are things I won't be able to go into serious theories I have because I've been spoiled actually twice working on this series. So there are the serious theories I won't be able to go in, but I'm very down to go into RANCID agenda theories that have zero chance of coming up, but they're very funny to me, and so I advocate for them, even though I know they're very stupid. But it's like Chopper's fruit. Listen. I know you're going to say it's a copium.
Okay.
I know everyone is going to say I'm Delulu, and I am. But Chopper is my goat. I think there's something with Chopper's fruit. Why did Blackbeard go on his island? I think it's because of his fruit. Let me get close camera once again. So I look crazier. I think there's something with Chopper fruit. Next arc is going to be Chopper's arc. Believe me, bro. Please.
Okay, the human fruit you think has some deep stuff to it, like that's the hope, right? Chopper. Woo.
That's my deep copium. That's my deep.
That's the cope.
Yes.
Do you think Chopper can awaken his powers? You think?
Obviously, bro, he can awaken. We're just cooked.
Mythical form Chopper. Mythical form Chopper.
Chopper fan. We're just cooked, man. Like, I don't know what to say. It's like I don't.
Yes, bro.
You're just so cooked,
bro. Because oh man, Chopper was really hype in the pre-time skip, and then Oda just kind of he matters as a doctor. He's there in the background. Yeah, he exists. But remember when Chopper went to Monster Point and then he literally beat the shit out of Kamadari, and he grabbed him like this, and he threw him across an entire island in one eat. Like, where's that Chopper?
No.
Yes.
And then
what happened to scope? What happened to being able to see people's weak? Anyway. Anyway,
I mean,
like,
so okay. So here's the thing. So like, as an animator, let's say you get the chance to work on a Chopper scene in the future. Let's say the scene when Chopper is falling down, he saves Gabon, right? Let's say you get that shot to work on Chopper, okay? So like, if you could, like, would you try and actually look at this? Would you try and actually have, you know, Chopper be utilized better in that scene? Definitely, right?
I mean, it's the kind of thing where I would say yes, I would try, but the first issue is that Chopper, because of the length of his scene, and it's purely a length issue, because of the length of his scene, there is first a very low chance that I'm given one of his scene,
right.
And the second issue is that I'm going to do a rough animation where he goes back to one of his original form, and he has a Conqueror Haki for one reason. And my director is just going to look at me and be like, even if it's you, we cannot do this. Like, I'm going to draw a flashback of him Conqueror clashing with Blackbeard, and my colleague.
Wait a minute, Vincent.
Like,
wait a minute.
you're banging it. My directors are going to be like, no, guy.
Yeah, bro.
Even if it's you, Vincent, you're really banging.
We need the chaos.
So,
we need the chaos.
I need him to stick to the original story, not bringing like Blackbeard versus Chopper feats here. Whoa, wait a minute. I don't need that. I don't need that in my timeline. Whoa.
Even if I tried to do this, people would not let me do it for very obvious, very obvious reason.
But like, for example, it's like you could do
Chopper with a sky-splitting feat. He just
It's like, wait a minute. Chopper's not Chopper's not with the sky splitting. It's crazy. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is her for Yoko. This is her for like, like King. Chopper?